Hi, I'm Jeff Baskir, and I'm going to be playing Longaville.
I'm Riley Cruickshank, and I'm playing the princess.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jacqueline Elisabeth, and I will be Berowne.
I'm Stuart Fischer, and I'm playing Holofernes.
Hey, folks. I'm Nicole Godino, and I am Ferdinand, King of Navarre.
Hello, I'm Andrew Harasty, and I'll be playing Costard.
Hi, I'm Sarah Kezman, and I'm playing Rosaline.
My name is Erin Klarner, and I'm playing Katherine.
My name is Tatanya Löwed-Spence, and I'm playing Dull, Forrester, and Marcade.
Hi, I'm David Narloch, and I'll be playing Sir Nathaniel.
Hello, I am Liana Olear, and I will be playing Don Adriano de Armado.
Hi, I'm Tricia Weiler, and I'll be playing Moat.
Hi everyone, I'm Teresa Renee, and I will be playing Boyette.
Hello, Melvin Smith. I will be Dumaine and First Lord.
Hi, I'm Deb Solomon. I'll be playing Jacqueline and Maria.
Right is the ring of words when the right man rings them. Fair the fall of songs when the singer sings them. Still they are caroled and said, on wings they are carried. After the singer is dead, and the maker buried, lo, as the singer lies in the field of heather, songs of his fashion bring the swains together. And when the west is red with the sunset embers, the lover lingers and sings, and the maid remembers.
Let fame, that all hunt after in their lives, live registered upon our brazen tombs, and then grace us in the disgrace of death, when, spite of cormorant devouring time, the endeavor of this present breath may buy that honor which shall bait his scythe's keen edge, and make us heirs of all eternity. Therefore, brave conquerors, for so you are, that war against your own affections and the huge army of the world's desires, our late edict shall strongly stand in force. Navarre shall be the wonder of the world. Our court shall be a little academe, still and contemplative in living art. You three, Berowne, Domaine, and Longaville, have sworn for 3 years' term to live with me, my fellow scholars, and to keep those statutes that are recorded in this schedule here. Your oaths are passed, and now subscribe your names, that his own hand may strike his honor down that violates the smallest branch herein. If you are armed to do as sworn to do, subscribe your oaths and keep it to.
I am resolved. 'Tis but a 3 years fast. The mind shall banquet, though the body pine. Fat paunches have lean pates, and dainty bits make rich the ribs, but bankrupt quite the wits.
My loving lord, Dumaine is mortified. The grosser manner of these world's delights he throws upon the gross world's baser slaves. To love, to wealth, to pomp, I pine and dine. With all these, living in philosophy.
I can but say their protestation over. So much, dear liege, I have already sworn, that is, to live and study here 3 years. But there are other strict observances, as not to see a woman in that term, which I hope well is not enrolled there. And 1 day in a week to touch no food, and but 1 meal on every day beside, the which I hope is not enrolled there. And then to sleep but 3 hours in the night, and not be seen to wink of all the day, when I was wont to think no harm all night, and make a dark night too of half the day, which I hope well is not enrolled there. Oh, these are barren tasks, too hard to keep. Not to see ladies study fast, not sleep.
Your oath is passed to pass away from these.
Let me say, no, my liege, and if you please, I only swore to study with your grace, and stay here in your court for 3 years of space.
Oh, you swore to that, Berowne, and to the rest.
Why, yea and nay, sir. Then I swore in jest. What is the end of study? Let me know.
Why, that to know which else we should not know.
Things hid and barred, you mean, from common sense?
Aye, that is study's godlike recompense.
Come on, then. I will swear to study so, to know the thing I am forbid to know, as thus, to study where I well may dine, when I to feast expressly am forbid, or study where to meet some mistress fine, when mistresses from common sense are hid, or, having sworn too hard a keeping oath, study to break it, and not break my troth. If study's gain be thus, and this be so, study knows that which yet it doth not know. Swear me to this, ha, and I'll ne'er say no.
These be the stops that hinder study quite, and train our intellects to vain delight.
Why, all delights are vain, but that most vain, which with pain purchased doth inherit pain, as painfully to pore upon a book, to seek the light of truth, while truth the while doth falsely blind the eyesight of his look. Light seeking light, blind the eyesight of his look. Light seeking light doth light to light beguile. So, ere you find where light in darkness lies, your light grows dark by losing of your eyes. Study me, how to please the eye indeed, by fixing it upon a fairer eye, who dazzling so that I shall be his heed, and give him light that it was blinded by. Study is like the heaven's glorious sun, that will not be deep searched with saucy looks. Small have continual plotters ever won, save base authority from others' books. These earthly godfathers of heaven's lights, that give a name to every fixed star, have no more profit of their shining nights than those that walk and what not what they are. Too much to know is to know not, but fame, and every godfather can give a name.
How well he's read to reason against reading.
Proceeded well to stop all good proceeding.
He weeds the corn, and yet let's grow the weeding.
The spring is near when green geese are a-breeding.
And how follows that?
Fit in his place and time.
In reason, nothing.
Something then in rhyme.
Berowne is like an envious sneaping frost that bites the firstborn infants of the spring.
Well, say I am. Why should proud summer boast before the birds have any cause to sing? Why should I joy in any abode of birth? At Christmas, I no more desire a rose than wish a snow in May's newfangled mirth. But, like of each thing that in season grows, so you to study now it is too late, climb o'er the house to unlock the little gate.
Well, sit you out. Go home, Berowne. Adieu.
No, my good lord. I have sworn to stay with you. And though I have for barbarism spoke more than for that angel knowledge, you can say, yet, confident, I'll keep what I have swore, and bid the penance of each 3 years' day. Give me that paper, let me read the same, and to the strictest degree, I'll write my name.
How well this yielding rescues thee from shame.
Item, that no woman shall come within a mile of my court. Hath this been proclaimed?
4 days ago.
Let's see the penalty. On pain of losing her tongue. Who devised this penalty?
Mary, that did I.
Sweet lord, and why?
To fright them hence with that dread penalty.
A dangerous law against gentility. Item. If any man be seen to talk with a woman within the term of 3 years, he shall endure such public shame as the rest of the court can possibly devise. This article, my liege, yourself must break. For well you know, here comes an embassy, the French king's daughter, with yourself to speak, a maid of grace and complete majesty, about surrender up of Aquitaine to her decrepit, sick and bedrid father. Therefore, this article is made in vain, or vainly comes the admired princess hither.
What say you, lords? Why, this is quite forgot.
So study evermore is overshot. While it doth study to have what it would, it doth forget to do the thing it should. And when it hath the thing, it hath its most. 'Tis one as towns with fire, so won, so lost.
We must of force dispense with this decree. She must lie here on mere necessity.
Ha! Ah, necessity will make us all forsworn. 3,000 times within this 3 years' space. For every man with his affects is born, not by might mastered, but by special grace. If I break faith, this word shall speak for me. I am forsworn on mere necessity. So to the laws at large, I write my name. And he that breaks them in the least decree stands in attainder of eternal shame. Suggestions are to others as to me, but I believe, although I seem so loath, I am the last that will last keep his oath. But is there no quick recreation granted?
Oh, aye, that there is. Our court, you know, is haunted with a refined traveller of Spain, a man in all the world's new fashion planted, that hath a mint of phrases in his brain, on whom the music of his own vain tongue doth ravish like enchanting harmony, a man of compliments, whom right and wrong have chose as the umpire of their mutiny. This child of fancy, that Armado hight, for interim to our study shall relate in high-born words the worth of many a knight, from tawny Spain lost in the world's debate. How you delight, my lords, I know not. But I protest I love to hear him lie, and I will use him for my minstrelsy.
Armado is a most illustrious wight, a man of fine new words, fashion's own knight. Oh, Longaville, I see thee.
Costard the swain, and he shall be our sport. And so to study, 3 years is but short.
Which is the Duke's own person?
This fellow, what wouldst?
I myself reprehend his own person, for I am his Grace Furber, but I would see his own person in flesh and blood.
This is he?
Signor Army, command you. There's villainy abroad. This letter will tell you more.
Sir, the contents therefore are as touching to me.
A letter from the magnificent Armado.
Howsoever the matter, I hope in God for high words.
High hope for a low heaven. God grant us patience.
To hear or forbear laughing.
To hear meekly, sir, and to laugh moderately, or to forbear both.
Well, sir, be it as the style shall give us cause to climb in the merriness.
The manner to me, sir, is as concerning Jacqueline. The matter is, of course, I was taken with the manner.
In what manner?
In the manner informing following, sir. All those three. I was seen with her in the manor house, sitting with her upon the form, then following her into the park, which put together in a manner and form following. Now for the manner. It is the manner of a man to speak to a woman, or for the form, in some form.
For the following, sir?
It shall follow my correction, and God defend the right.
Will you hear this letter with attention?
As we would hear an oracle.
Such is the simplicity of man to hearken after the flesh.
Great deputy, the Welkin's vice-regent and sole dominator, the sole dominator of Navarre, my soul's earth's god and body's fostering patron.
Not a word of Costard yet.
So it is.
It may be so, but he say so. He is in truth, but so.
Peace.
Be to me every man, and that there's not fight.
No words.
Of other man's secrets, I beseech you.
So is besieged with sable-colored melancholy. I did commend the black, oppressing humor to the most wholesome physic of thy health-giving air. And, as I am a gentleman, betook myself to walk. The time when, about the 6th hour, when beasts most graze, birds best peck, and men sit down to that nourishment which is called supper. So much for the time when. Now for the ground on which I mean I walked upon. It is ye clept thy park. Then for the place where I mean I did encounter that obscene and preposterous event, that draweth from my snow-white pen the ebon-colored ink, which here thou viewest, beholdest, surveyest, or seest. But to the place where it standeth north-northeast and east by west of the corner of thy curious knotted garden, there did I see that low-spirited swain, that base minnow of thy mirth.
Me?
That unlettered small knowing soul.
Me?
That shallow vassal.
That's still me.
Which, as I remember, hight Costard.
Oh, me, yes.
Sorted and consorted contrary to thy established proclaimed edict and continent canon, with which, with this passion, I say, wherewith?
Oh, with a wench?
With a child of our grandmother Eve, a female, or for thy more sweet understanding, a woman. Him I, as my ever-esteemed duty pricks me on, have sent to thee to receive the meed of punishment by thy sweet grace's officer Anthony Dull, a man of good repute, carriage, bearing, and estimation.
Aunt shall please you. I am Anthony Dull.
For Jacqueline, so is the weaker vessel called, which I apprehended with the aforesaid swain. I keep her as a vessel of the law's fury, and shall at the least of thy sweet notice bring her to trial. Thine in all compliments of devoted and heart-burning heat of duty, Don Adriano de Armado.
This is not so well as looked for, but the best that I ever heard.
Aye, the best for the worst. But, sirrah, what say you to this?
Sir, I confess the wench.
Did you hear the proclamation?
I do confess much of the hearing, but little the marking of it.
It was proclaimed a year's imprisonment to be taken with a wench.
I was taken with none, sir. I was taken with a damsel.
Well, It was proclaimed damsel.
'Twas no damsel then. She was a virgin.
It is so very too, for it was proclaimed virgin.
If it were, then I deny her virginity. I was taken with a maid.
This maid will not serve your turn, sir.
This maid's will serve my turn, sir.
Sir, I will pronounce your sentence. You shall fast a week with bran and water.
I'd rather pray a month with mutton and porridge.
And Don Armado shall be your keeper. My lord Berowne, see him delivered o'er. And go we, lords, to put in practice that which each to other hath so strongly sworn.
I'll lay my head to any good man's hat. These oaths and laws will prove an idle scorn.
I suffer for the truth, sir, for true it is. I was taken with Jacqueline, and Jacqueline is true girl. And therefore welcome the sour cup of prosperity. Affliction may one day smile again. Until then, sit thee down, sorrow.
Sirrah, come on.
Boy, what sign is it when the man of great spirit grows melancholy?
A great sign, sir, that he will look sad.
Why, sadness is one and self same thing, dear imp.
No, O lord, sir, no.
How canst thou part sadness and melancholy, my tender juvenile?
By a familiar demonstration of the working, my tough senior.
Why, tough senior? Why, tough senior?
Why, tender juvenile? Why, tender juvenile?
I spoke it, tender juvenile, as a congruent epithet appertaining to thy young days, which we may nominate tender.
And I, tough senior, as an effort to entitle to your old time, which we may name tough.
Pretty, and apt.
How you mean, sir? I pretty, am I saying apt? Or I apt, am I saying pretty?
No, pretty, because little.
Little pretty, because little, wherefore art thou apt?
Therefore apt, because quick.
Speak you this in my praise, master?
In thy conduct and praise.
I will praise an eel with the same praise.
What? That an eel is ingenious?
That an eel is
quick? I do say thou art quick in answers. Thou heedest my blood.
I am answered, sir.
I love not to be crossed.
He speaks the mere contrary, crosses love, not him.
I have promised to study 3 years with the Duke.
You may do so in an hour, sir.
Impossible.
How many is one thrice told?
I'm ill at reckoning. If it is the spirit of a tapster.
You're a gentleman, sir, and a gamester, sir.
I confess both. They are both the varnish of a complete man.
Then I am sure you know how much the gross sum of deuce ace amounts to.
It doth amount to 1 more than 2.
Which the most vulgar do call 3.
True.
Why, sir, is this such a piece of study? Now here is 3 studied, you'll ere twice wink, and how easy it is to put years to the word 3, and study 3 years in 2 words, the dancing horse will tell you.
A most fine figure.
To prove you a cipher.
I will hereupon confess, I am in love. And that, as it is base for a soldier to love, so am I in love with a base wench. If drawing my sword against the humor of affection would deliver me from the reprobate thought of it, I would take Desire prisoner and ransom him to any French courtier for a new devised courtesy. I think scorn to sigh. Methinks I should outswear Cupid. Comfort me, boy. What great men have been in love?
Hercules, master.
Most sweet Hercules. More authority, dear boy. Name more, and sweet my child, let them be men of good repute and carriage.
Samson, master, he was of good carriage, great carriage, for he carried the town on his back like a porter, and he was in love.
Oh, well knit Samson, strong jointed Samson. I do excel thee in my rapier as much as thou didst me in carrying the gates. I am in love too. Who was Samson's love, dear most?
A woman, master.
Of what complexion?
Of all the four, of all the three, or the two, or the one of the four.
Tell me precisely of what complexion.
Of the sea green water, sir.
Is that one of the four complexions?
As I have read, sir, and the best of them, too.
Green is indeed the color of lovers. But to have a love of that color, methinks Samson had small reason for it. He surely affected her for her wit.
It was so, sir, for she had a green wit.
My love is most immaculate, white and red.
Most immaculate thoughts, master, are massed under such colors.
Define, well-educated infant.
My father's wit and my mother's tongue assist me.
Sweet invocation of a child, most pretty and pathetical.
If she be made of white and red, her faults will ne'er be known. For blushing cheeks by fault are bred, and fears by pale light shown. And then if she fear or be to blame, by this you shall not know. For still her cheeks possess the same which native she doth owe. A dangerous rhyme, master, against the reason of white and red.
Is there not a ballad boy of the king and the beggar?
The world was very guilty of such a ballad some 3 ages since, but I think now 'tis not to be found, or if it were, it would neither serve for the writing nor the tune.
I will have that subject newly read over, that I may example my digression by some mighty precedent. Boy, I do love that country girl that I took in the park with the rational hind Costard. She deserves well.
To be whipped and yet better loved than my master.
Sing, boy. My spirit grows heavy in love.
And that's great marvel, loving a light wench.
I say sing.
Forbear till this company be past.
Sir, the Duke's pleasure is that you keep Costard safe, and you must suffer to take no delight, nor no peasants, but must fast 3 days a week for this damsel. I must keep her at the park. She is allowed for the day woman. Fare you well.
I do betray myself with blushing. Maid?
Man.
I will visit thee at the lodge.
Well, that's hereby.
I know where it is situate.
Lord, how wise you are.
I will tell thee wonders.
With that face.
I love thee.
So I heard you say.
And so, farewell.
Fair weather after you.
Come, Jacqueline, away.
Villain! Thou shalt fast for thy offences, or thou will be pardoned.
Oh, well, sir, I hope when I do it, I shall do it on a full stomach.
Thou shalt be heavily punished.
I am more bound to you than your fellows, for they are but lightly rewarded.
Take away this villain. Shut him up!
Come on, you transgressing slave, away!
Let me not be pent up, sir. I will fast being loose.
No, sir, that were fast and loose thou shalt to prison.
Well, if ever I do see the merry days of desolation, that I have seen, some shall see.
What shall some see?
Nay, nothing, Master Mott, but what they look upon. It is not for prisoners to be too silent in their words, and therefore I will say nothing. I thank God I have as little patience as another man, and therefore I can be quiet.
I do. Affect the very ground which is base, where her shoe, which is baser, guided by her foot, which is basest, does tread. I shall be forsworn, which is a great argument of falsehood if I love. And how can that be true love, which is falsely attempted? Love is a familiar. Though love is a devil, there is no evil angel but love. Yet was Samson so tempted? And he had an excellent strength. Yet was Solomon so seduced? He had a very good wit. Cupid's butt shaft is too hard for Hercules' club, and therefore too much odds for a Spaniard's rapier. The first and second clause will not serve my turn. The passado he respects not. The duello he regards not. His disgrace is to be called boy, but his glory is to subdue men. Adieu, Weiler. Rust rapier. Be still, drum. For your manager is in love. Yea, he loveth. Assist me, some extemporal god of rhyme, for I am sure I shall turn sonnet. Devise wit. Write pen, for I am whole volumes in folio.
Now, madam, summon up your dearest spirits. Consider who the king your father sends, to whom he sends, and what's his embassy. Yourself held precious in the world's esteem, to parley with the sole inheritor of all perfections that a man may owe. Matchless Navarre, the plea of no less weight than Aquitaine, a dowry for a queen, be now as prodigal of all dear grace, as nature was in making grace dear when she did starve the general's world beside, and prodigally gave them all to you.
Good Lord Boyette, my beauty, though but mean, needs not the painted flourish of your praise. Beauty is bought by judgment of the eye, not uttered by sale of base chapmen's tongues. I am less proud to hear you tell my worth than you much willing to be counted wise in spending your wit in the praise of mine. But now to task the tasker. Good Boyette, you are not ignorant, all telling fame doth noise abroad. Navarre hath made a vow, till painful study shall outwear 3 years, no woman may approach his silent court. Therefore, to seemeth it a needful course, before we enter his forbidden gates, to know his pleasure, and in that behalf, bold of your worthiness, we single you as our best moving fair solicitor. Tell him the daughter of the King of France, on serious business craving quick dispatch, importunes personal conference with his grace. Haste! Signify so much while we attend, like humble visaged suitors, his high will.
Proud of employment, willingly I go.
All pride is willing pride, and yours is so. Who are the votaries, my loving lords, that are vow fellows with this virtuous duke?
Lord Longaville is one.
Know you the man?
I know him, madam, at a marriage feast between Lord Perigord and the beauteous heir of Jacques Falconbridge, solemnized in Normandy. I saw this Longaville, a man of sovereign parts. He is esteemed, well fitted in arms, well fitted in arts, and glorious in arms. Nothing becomes him ill that he would well. The only soil of his fair virtue's gloss, if virtue's gloss will stain with any soil, is a sharp wit, matched with too blunt a will, whose edge hath power to cut, whose will still wills it should none spare that come within his power.
Some merry mocking lord belike, isn't so?
They say so, most his humours know.
Such short-lived wits do wither as they grow. Who are the rest?
The young Domain, a well-accomplished youth, Of all the virtue love for virtue loved. Most power to do most harm, least knowing ill, for he hath wit to make an ill shape good, and shape to win grace, though he had no wit. I saw him at Duke Alanson's once, and much too little of that good I saw is my report to his great worthiness.
Another of these students at that time was there with him. If I have heard a truth, Berowne they call him, but a merrier man within the limit of becoming mirth. I never spent an hour's talk withal. His eye begets occasion for his wit. For every object that the one doth catch, the other turns to a mirth-moving jest, which his fair tongue, conceit's expositor, delivers in such apt and gracious words that aged ears play truant at his tales, and young hearings are quite ravished. So sweet and voluble is his discourse.
God bless my ladies. Are they all in love, that every one her own hath garnished with such bedecking ornaments of praise?
Here comes Boyette.
Now, what admittance, my lord?
Navarre had noticed your fair approach, and he and his competitors in oath were all addressed to meet you, gentle lady. Before I came, Mary, thus much I have learnt. He rather mean to lodge you in the field, like one that comes here to besiege his court, than seek a dispensation for his oath to let you enter his unpeopled house. Here comes Navarre.
Fair princess, welcome to the court of Navarre.
Fair, I give you back again, and welcome I have not yet. The roof of this court is too high to be yours, and welcome to the wide fields, too base to be mine.
You shall be welcome, madam, to my court.
I will be welcome then. Conduct me thither.
Hear me, dear lady, I have sworn an oath.
Our Lady help my lord, he'll be forsworn.
Not for the world, fair madam, by my will.
Why, will shall break it, will and nothing else.
Your ladyship is ignorant what it is.
Were my lord so, his ignorance were wise, where now his knowledge must prove ignorance. I hear your grace hath sworn out housekeeping. 'Tis deadly sin to keep that oath, my lord, and sin to break it. But pardon me, I am too sudden bold. To teach a teacher ill beseemeth me. Vouchsafe to read the purpose of my coming, and suddenly resolve me in my suit.
Madame, I will, if suddenly I may.
You will the sooner that I were away, for you'll prove perjured if you make me stay.
Did not I dance with you in Brabant once?
Did I not dance with you at Brabant once?
I know you did.
How needless was it then to ask the question?
You must not be so quick.
'Tis long of you that spur me with such questions.
Your wit's too hot, it speeds too fast, till twire.
Not till it leave the rider in the mire.
What time of day?
The hour that fools should ask.
Now fair befall your mask.
Fair fall the face it covers.
And send you many lovers.
Amen, so you be none.
Nay, then will I be gone.
Madam, your father here doth intimate the payment of 100,000 crowns, being but 1/2 of an entire sum disbursed by my father in his wars. But say that he or we, as neither have received that sum, yet there remains unpaid 100,000 more, in surety of the which one part of Aquitaine is bound to us, although not valued to the money's worth, though if then the king your father will restore but that 1/2 which is unsatisfied, we will give up our right in Aquitaine and hold fair friendship with his majesty. But that it seems he little purposeth, for here he doth demand to have repaid 100,000 crowns, and not demands, on payment of 100,000 crowns, to have his title live in Aquitaine, which we much rather had depart withal, and have the money by our father lent than Aquitaine so gelded as it is. Dear princess, were not his request so far from reason's yielding, your fair self should make a yielding against some reason in my breast, and go well satisfied to France again.
Vous faites une trop grande injure au roi mon père, et vous faites vous-même tort à la réputation de votre nom, en dissimulant ainsi le remboursement d'une somme qui a été si fidèlement acquittée.
I do protest I never heard of it, and if you prove it, I'll repay it or back or yield up Aquitaine.
We arrest your word. Boyette, you can produce acquittances for such a sum from special officers of Charles, his father.
Satisfy me so.
So, please, your grace, the packet is not come, where that and other specialties are bound. Tomorrow you shall have them in sight.
It shall suffice me. At which interview all liberal reason I will yield unto. Meanwhile, receive such welcome at my hand as honor without breach of honor may make tender to thy true worthiness. You may not come, fair princess, in my gates, but here without you shall be so received as you shall deem yourself lodged in my heart, though so denied fair harbor in my house. Your own good thoughts excuse me, and farewell. Tomorrow we shall visit you again.
Que l'aimable santé et les heureux désirs accompagnent votre Altesse.
Thy own wish I grant thee in every place.
Lady, I will commend you to mine own heart.
Pray you, do my commendations. I would be glad to see it.
I would you heard it groan.
Is the fool sick?
Sick at the heart.
Alack, let it blood.
Would that do it good?
My physic says I.
Will you prick it with your eye?
No point with my knife.
Now God save thy life.
And yours from long living.
I cannot stay Thanksgiving.
Sir, I pray you a word. What lady is that same?
Oh, the heir of Alcon, Katherine her name.
A gallant lady. Monsieur, fare you well.
I beseech you a word. What is she in the white?
A woman sometimes, and you saw her in the light.
Oh, perchance light in the light. I desire her name.
She hath but one for herself, to desire that her shame.
Pray you, sir, whose daughter?
Her mother's, I have heard.
God's blessing on your beard.
Sir, be not offended. She is an heir of Falconbridge.
Nay, my collar has ended. She is a most sweet lady.
Not unlike, sir, that may be.
What's her name in the cap?
Rosaline by good hap.
Is she wedded or no?
To her will, sir, so.
You are welcome, sir. Adieu.
Farewell to me, sir, and welcome to you.
That last is Berowne, the merry madcap lord. Not a word with him, but a jest.
And every jest but a word.
It was well done of you to take him at his word.
I was as willing to grapple as he was to board.
2 hot sheeps, Mary.
And wherefore not ships? No sheep, sweet lambs, unless we feed on your lips.
You sheep and I pasture. Shall that finish the jest?
So you grant pasture for me?
Not so, gentle beast. My lips are no common, though several they be.
Belonging to whom?
To my fortunes and me.
Good wits will be jangling, but gentles agree. This civil war of wits were much better used on Navarre and his bookmen, for here 'tis abused.
If my observations, which very seldom line, by the heart-still rhetoric disclosed with eyes, deceive me not now, Navarre is infected.
With what?
With that which we lovers in title affected.
Your reason.
Why, all his behaviors did make their retire to the court of his eyes, peeping through with desires, his heart like in a gate with your printing press, proud with his form, in his eyes pride expressed, his tongue all impatient to speak and not see, did stumble with haste in his eyesight to be, all senses that to that sense did make the repair, to feel only looking on fairest of fair. Methought all his senses were locked in his eyes, as jewels and crystal for some prince to buy, whose tendering their own worth from where they were glass, did point you to buy them along as you pass. His face, O Margent, did quote such amaze, that all eyes saw his eyes enchanted would gaze. I'll give you Aquitaine and all that is his, and you gave him for my sake but one loving kiss.
Away to our pavilion. Boyette is disposed.
But to speak that in words which his eyes hath to clothe, I only made a mouth of his eyes, by adding a tongue which I know will not lie.
Thou art an old love-monger, and speakest skillfully.
He is Cupid's grandfather, and learns news of him.
Then was Venus like her mother, for her father is but grim.
Do you hear, my mad wenches?
No.
Then, what then do you see?
I our way to be gone.
You are too hard for me.
Wonderful child, make passionate my sense of hearing.
Concilio!
Sweet air. Go, tenderness of years, take this key and give enlargement to the swain. Bring him fascinately hither. I must employ him in a letter to my love.
Master, will you win him with your French brawl?
How meanest thou? Brawling in French?
No, my complete master, but to jig off a tune at the tongue's end, canary do with your feet, humor it with turning up your eyelids, sigh a note and sing a note, sometimes through the throat as if you swallowed love with singing love, sometimes through the nose, as if you snuffed up love by smelling love, with your hat penthouse like o'er the shop of your eyes, with your arms crossed on your thin belly, doubled like a rabbit on a spit, or your hands in your pocket, like a man after the old painting, and keep not too long in one tune, but snip and away. These are compliments, these are humors, these betray nice wenches, that would be betrayed without these, and make them men of note. Do you note me, that are most affected to these?
How hast thou purchased this experience?
By my penny of the observation.
The
hobby horse is forgot.
Callest thou my love a hobby horse?
No, master, the hobby horse is but a colt, and your love perhaps a hackney, but have you forgot your love?
Almost I had.
Negligent student, I learn by heart.
By heart, and in heart, boy.
And out of heart, master, and all three I will prove.
What wilt thou prove?
A man if I live and this by in and without upon the instant. By heart you love her, because your heart cannot come by her. In heart you love her, because your heart is in love with her. And out of heart you love her, being out of the heart that you cannot enjoy her.
I am all these three.
And 3 times as much more, and yet nothing at all.
Fetch hither the swain. He must carry me a letter.
A message well sympathized, a horse to be ambassador for an ass.
What sayest thou?
Marry, sir, you must send the ass upon the horse, for he is slow-gated, but I go.
The way is but short. Away!
As swift as lead, sir.
The mean pretty ingenious? Is not lead a metal heavy, dull, Slow.
Minime, honest master, or rather, master, no.
I say lead is slow.
You are too swift, sir, to say so. Is that lead slow which is fired from a gun?
Sweet smoke of rhetoric. He reputes me a cannon, and the bullet, that is he. I shoot thee at the swine. Ow.
Then thump, I flee.
A most acute juvenile, voluble and free of grace. By thy favor, sweet Welkin, I must sign thy face. Most rude melancholy, valor gives thee place. My herald is returned.
I wonder, master, here's a costard broken in a shin.
Some enigma, some riddle. Come, thy l'envoy, begin.
No enigma, no riddle, no l'envoy, no salve in the mail. No, sir, a plaintain. A plaintain. No l'envoy, no salve, but a plaintain.
By virtue, thou enforces laughter. Thy series of my spleen. The heaving of my lungs provokes me to a ridiculous smiling. Oh, pardon me, my stars. Does the inconsiderate take salve for l'envoy, and the word l'envoy for a salve?
Do the wise think the mother is not a l'envoy a salve?
No, page. It is an epilogue of discourse to make plain some obscure precedents that has tofore been seen. I will example it. The fox, the ape, and the humblebee were still at odds, being but three. There is the moral. Now, the l'envoy.
I will add the l'envoy and say the moral again.
The fox, the ape, and the humblebee were still at odds, being but three.
Until the goose came out the door and stayed the odd by adding 4. Now begin your moral, and you do follow with my l'envoy. The fox, the ape, the humblebee were still at odds by being 3.
Until the goose came out the door, staying the odds by adding 4.
A good l'envoy ending in the goose. Would you desire more?
The boy hath sold him in a bargain a goose, that's flat. Sir, your pennyworth is good, and your goose be fat. To sell a bargain with all his cunning is fat and loose. Let me see, flat l'envoy, and I, that's a fat goose.
Come hither. How did this argument begin?
By saying that a costard was broken in his shin. Then you call for l'envoy.
True, I for a plantain came to your argument in. Then the boy's fat l'envoy, the goose that you bought, and ended at the market.
But tell me, how was there a costard broken in a shin?
I will tell you sensibly.
Thou hast no feeling of it, Mott. I will speak to that l'envoy. I, Costard, running that was safely within, fell over the threshold and broke my shin.
We will talk no more of this matter.
There's still matter in the shin.
Sir Costard, I will enfranchise thee.
Oh, marry me to one Francis. I smell some l'envoy, some goose in this.
By my sweet soul, I mean setting thee at liberty, in freedom in thy person. Thou wert immured, restrained, captivated, bound.
True, and now by you will be my purgation and let me loose?
I will give thee thy liberty, set thee from durance, and in lieu thereof, impose on thee nothing but this. Bear this significant to the country-maid Jacqueline. There is remuneration for the best word of mine. Honor is reward in thy dependence. Note, follow.
Like the sequel, I, Signor Costard, I do.
My sweet ounce of a man's flesh. Now I will look to this remuneration. Remuneration. That's Latin for 3 farthings. 3 farthings remuneration. What is the price of this inkle? 1 penny. No, I'll give you remuneration. Why, it carries with it Remuneration. Why? It's a fairer name than a French crown. I will never buy or sell without this word.
Oh, my good knave Costard, exceedingly well met.
Pray you, sir, how much carnation ribbon can a man buy for a remuneration?
What is a remuneration?
Marry, sir, a halfpenny and farthing.
Why then 3 farthing worth of silk.
I thank your worship. God be with you.
Stay, slave, I must employ thee, as thou wilt win my favor. Good my knave, do one thing for me that I shall entreat.
When will you have it done, sir?
This afternoon.
Well, I will do it. Fare you well, sir.
Thou knowest not what it is!
I shall know, sir, when I have done it.
Why, villain, thou must know first.
I will come to your worship tomorrow morning.
It must be done this afternoon. Hark, slave, it is but this. The princess comes to hunt here in the park, and in her train there is a gentle lady. When tongues speak sweetly, then they say her name, and Rosaline they call her. Ask for her, and to her white hand, see thou do commend this sealed up counsel. There's thy guerdon. Go.
Guerdon? Oh, sweet guerdon. Better than remuneration. 11 pence farthing better. Most sweet guerdon. I will do it, sir. In print. Guerdon. Remuneration.
Je suis vraiment amoureux. And I, forsooth, in love. I, that have been love's whip, a very beadle to a humorous sigh, a critic, nay, a night watch constable, a domineering pedant o'er the boy, than whom no mortal so magnificent. This wimpled, whining, purblind, wayward boy, this senior, junior, giant dwarf, Dan Cupid, regent of love rhymes, lord of folded arms, the anointed sovereign of sighs and groans, liege of all loiterers and malcontents, dread prince of plackets, king of codpieces, sole imperator and great general of trotting parators. Oh, my little heart! And I, to be a corporal of his field, and wear his colors like a tumbler's hoop. What I love, I sue, I seek a wife, a woman that is like a German clock, still a repairing, ever out of frame, and never going aright, being a watch, but being watched that it may still go right. Nay, to be perjured, which is worst of all, and among 3, to love the worst of all, a whitely wanton with a velvet brow, with 2 pitch balls stuck in her face for eyes. Aye, and by heaven, one that will do the deed, though Argus were her eunuch and her god, and I to sigh for her, to watch for her, to pray for her. Oh, go to! It is a plague that Cupid will impose for my neglect of his almighty, dreadful little might. Allons, j'aimerai, j'écrirai, je soupirai, je prierai, je solliciterai et je gémirai. Il faut bien que les uns aiment madame et les autres jantons. Well, I will love, write, sigh, pray, sue, groan. Some men must love my lady, and some Joan.
Was that the king that spurred his horse so hard against the steep uprising of the hill?
Oh, I know not, but I think it was not he.
Whoever was showed a mounting mind. Well, lords, today we shall have our dispatch. On Saturday we will return to France. Then, Forester, my friend, where is the bush that we must stand and play the murderer in?
Here, on the hedge, beyond the coppice, a stone where you make the fairest shoot.
I thank my beauty, I am fair that shoot, and thereupon thou speakest, the fairest shoot.
Pardon me, madam, for I meant not so.
What? What? First praise me and again say no? Oh, short-lived pride, not fair, alack, for woe.
Yes, madam, fair.
Nay, never paint me now. Where fair is not, praise cannot mend the brow. Here, good my glass, take this for telling true. Fair payment for foul words is more than due.
Nothing but fair is that which you inherit.
See, my beauty will be saved by merit. Oh, heresy and fair, fit for these days. A giving hand, though foul, shall have fair praise. But, come, the bow, now mercy goes to kill, and shooting well is then accounted ill. Thus will I save my credit in the shoot, not wounding, pity would not let me do it. If wounding, then it was to show my skill, that more for praise than purpose meant to kill. And out of question, so it is sometimes, glory grows guilty of detested crimes. When for fame's sake, for praise and outward part, we bend to that, the working of the heart. As I for praise alone now seek to spill the poor dear's blood, that my heart means no ill.
Do not curse wise hold that self-sovereignty only for praise sake, when they strive to be lords or their lords?
Only for praise, and praise we may afford to any lady that subdues a lord.
Oh, here comes a member of the Commonwealth.
God give you den all. I pray you, which is the head lady?
Thou shalt know her, fellow, by the rest that have no heads.
Which is the greatest lady? The highest?
The thickest and the tallest.
The thickest and the tallest. It is so. Truth is truth. Your waist, mistress, were as slender as my wit. Oh, and one of these maids' girdles for your waist should fit. Are you not the chief woman? You are the thickest here.
What's your will, sir? What's your will?
I have a letter from Monsieur Berowne for one lady Rosaline.
Oh, thy letter. He's a good friend of mine. Stand aside, good bearer. Boyette, you can carve. Break up this capon.
I am bound to serve. This letter is mistook its importance none here. It is writ to Jacqueline.
We will read it, I swear. Break the neck of the wax, and everyone give ear.
By heavens, that thou art fair, most infallible, true, that thou art beauteous, truth itself that thou art lovely, more fair than fair, beautiful than beauteous, truer than truth itself, have commiseration on thy heroical vessel. The magnanimous and most illustrated King Cophetua set eye upon the pernicious and indubited beggar Xenophon, and he it was that might rightly say, Veni vidi vici, with thee anathanized in the vulgar. Oh, base and obscure vulgar, videlicet. He came, saw, and overcome. He came, 1, saw, 2, overcame, 3. Who came? The king. Why did he come? To see. Why did he see? To overcome. Who came he? The beggar. What saw he? The beggar. Who overcame he? The beggar. The conclusion is victory. On whose side? The king. The captive is enriched. On whose side? The beggar. The catastrophe is a nuptial. On whose side? The king. No, one in both, or both in one. I am the king, for so stands the comparison, thou the beggar. For so witness thy lowliness. Shall I command thy love? I may. Shall I entreat thy love? I could. Shall I enforce thy love? I could. Shall I entreat thy love? I will. Without shall exchange rags for robes, titles for titles, and thyself me. Thus expecting thy reply, I profound my lips on thy foot, my eye on thy picture, and my heart on thine every part. Thine endears design industry, Don Ariano de Armando. Thus dost thou hear the nimbying lion roar, gainst thee, thou lamb that standeth as his prey. Submissive fall his princely feet before, and he from forage will incline to play. But if thou strive, poor soul, what art thou then? Food for his rage? Rapture for his den?
Plume of feathers is he that indited this letter? What vein, what weathercock? Did you ever hear better?
I am much deceived, but I remember the style.
Else your memory is bad, going o'er it erewhile.
This Armado is a Spaniard that keeps in court, a phantasm, a monarch, and one that makes sport to the prince and his bookmates.
Now, fellow, a word.
Yes.
Who gave thee this letter?
I told you, my lord.
To whom shouldst thou give it?
From my lord to my lady.
From which lord to which lady?
From my lord Berowne, a good master of mine, to the lady of France that he'd called Rosaline.
Thou hast mistaken the letter. Come, lords, away. Here, sweet, put up this. 'Twill be thine another day.
Who is the suitor? Wait, who is the suitor?
Shall I teach you to know?
I, my continent of beauty.
Why, she that bears the bow. Finely put off.
My lady goes to kill horns, but if thou marry, hang me by my neck. If horns that year miscarry, finely put on.
Well then, I am the shooter.
And who is your dear?
If we choose by the horns, yourself come not near. Finely put on indeed.
You still wrangle with her, Boyette, and she strikes at the brow.
But she herself is hit lower. Have I hit her now?
Shall I come upon thee with an old saying that was a man when the King of Pepin of France was a little boy, as touching the hit it?
So I may answer thee with one as old, that was a woman when Queen Guinevere of Britain was a little wench, as touching the hit it.
Thou canst not hit it, hit it, hit it.
And I cannot, and I cannot. Another can.
By my troth, most pleasant, how did thou both fit it?
A mark marvelous well shot, for they both did hit it.
A mark? Oh, mark, but that mark. A mark, say my lady. Let the mark have a prick in it to meet at, if may be.
Wide of the bow hand, in faith your hand is out.
Indeed, I must shoot her nearer, or he'll ne'er hit the clout.
And if my hand be out, then be like your hand is in?
Then will she be in the upshot by cleaving the pin.
Come. You talk greasily. Your lips grow foul.
Ah, but too hard for you at pricks, sir. Challenge her to a bowl.
I fear too much rubbing. Good night, my good owl.
By my soul, a swain, a most simple clown. Ah, Lord, how the ladies and I must put him down. Oh, by my troth, most sweet jest, most icony vulgar wit, when it comes so smoothly off, so obstinately, as it were so fit. Armado o' the one side, O maid dainty man, to see him walk well before a lady to bear her fan, to see him kiss his hand, and how most sweetly I will swear, and his page on the other has that handful of wit. Ah, heaven, it is most parenthetical knit. Sola.
Very reverend sport, truly, and done in the testimony of a good conscience.
Oh, the deer was, as you know, sanguis in blood, ripe in the poem water, who now hangeth like a jewel in the ear of Chelo, the sky, to welkin, the heaven, and on forth like a crab in the face of Terra, the soil, the land, the earth.
Oh, truly, Master Holofernes, the epithets are sweetly varied, like a scholar at the least. But, sir, I assure you, it was a buck of the first head.
Sir Nathaniel, hot credo.
Was not a hoard cruder, was a pricket.
Twice odd simplicity. Oh, Biscoctus. Oh, thou monster! Ignorance! How deformed dost thou look!
Does say, sir, he hath never fed of the dainties that are bred in a book. He hath not eat paper. As it were, he hath not drunk ink. Oh, his intellect is not replenished. He is only an animal, only sensible in the duller parts, and such barren plants are yet set before us that we thankful should be, which we of taste and feeling are, for those parts that do fructify in us more than he, for as it would ill become me to be vain, indiscreet, or fool, so were there a patch set on learning, to see him in a school. But omne bene, say I, being of an old father's mind, many can brook the weather that love not the wind.
You two are bookmen. Can you tell me by your wit, what was Mumfold at Cairnsbath? That's not 5 weeks old yet?
Dictina, good man, dull. Dictina, good man, dull.
What is Dictania?
A title to Phoebe, to Luna, to the moon.
And the moon was a month old when Adam was no more, and wrought not to 5 weeks when he came to 50. But the illusion holds in the exchange.
'Tis true indeed. The collusion holds in the exchange.
God comfort thy capacity. I say the illusion holds in the exchange.
And I say the collusion holds in the exchange. For the moon is never but a month old. And I say beside that 'twas a picket that the princess killed.
Oh, Sir Nathaniel, will you hear an extemporal epitaph upon the death of the deer? And to humor the ignorant, call I the deer the princess killed a pricket.
Oh, purge, good Master Holofernes, purge, so it shall please you to abrogate scurrility.
I will something affect the letter, for it argues facility. The prayful princess pierced and pricked pretty pleasing pricket. Some say sore, but not a sore till now made sore with shooting. The dogs did yell, I put L to sore. The sorrel jumps from sicket, or pricket sore, or else sorrel, the people follow hooting. If sore be sore, then L to sore makes 50 sores, one sorrel. Of one sore, I am 100 make by adding one more L.
Oh, rare talent!
If a talent be a claw, Look how he claws him with a talent.
Oh, this is a gift that I have. Simple, simple. A foolish, extravagant spirit, full of forms, figures, shapes, objects, ideas, apprehensions, motions, revolutions that are begot in the ventricle of memory, nourished in the womb of pia mater, and delivered upon the mellowing of occasion. But the gift is good in those in whom it is acute, and I am thankful for it.
Sir, I praise the Lord for you, and so may my parishioners, for their sons are well tutored by you, and their daughters profit very greatly under you. You are a good member of the Commonwealth.
Merrily, if their sons be ingenuous, they shall want no instruction. If their daughters be capable, I will put it to them. But vir sapit qui pauca loquitur. Oh, a soul feminine salutes us.
God give you good morrow, Master Parson.
A Master Parson? A quasi parson? Oh, as if one should be pierced. Which is the one?
Mary, Master Schoolmaster, he that is likely a hogshead.
Piercing a hogshead? Oh, good lustre of conceit and a tuft of earth, fire enough for a flint, pearl enough for a swine. 'Tis pretty, it is well.
Good morrow, Parson. Be so good as read me this letter. It was given me by Costard and sent me from Don Armado. I beseech you, read it.
Oh, Fauste precor, gelida, quando pecus omnis sub omba ruminat, etc. Oh, good old Mantuan. I might speak of thee as the traveller doth of Venice. Venetia, Venetia, qui non te verde non ti pretia. Old Mantuan, who understandest thee, not loves thee not. Utre solabi fa. Under pardon, sir, what are the contents, or rather, as Horace says, as his, verses?
Answer very learned.
Let me hear a staff, a stanza, a verse, lege, domine.
Well, if love makes me forsworn, how shall I swear to love? Never faith could hold, if not to beauty vowed. Though to myself forsworn, to thee I'll faithful prove. Those thoughts to me were oaks, to thee like osiers bowed. Study his bias leaves, and make his book thine eyes, where all those pleasures live that art comprehend. If knowledge be the mark, to know thee shall suffice. Well learned is that tongue that well can thee commend. All ignorant that soul that sees thee without wonder, which is to me some praise that I thy parts admire. Thy eye, Jove's lightning bears, thy voice is dreadful thunder, which not to anger bent is music and sweet fire. Celestial as thou art, pardon, love, this wrong that sings heaven's praise with such an earthly tongue.
You find not the apostrophus, and so miss the accent. Let me supervise the canzonet. Here we are. Only numbers ratified, but for the elegance, facility and golden cadences of poesy. Oh, Calret. Ovidius Naso was the man. And why, indeed, Naso, but for smelling the odoriferous flowers of fancy, the jerks of invention. Unitary is nothing, so doth the hound his master, the ape his keeper, the tired horse his rider. But, Damosella Virgin, was this directed at you?
Aye, sir, from one Monsieur Berowne, one of the strange queen's lords.
I will overglance the superscript. To the sour white, to the snow, the snow white hand of the most beauteous lady Rosaline. I will look again at the intellect of the letter for the nomination of the party writing it to the persons written, but it unto your ladyship's in all desired employment. Berowne, Sir Nathaniel, this Berowne is one of the votaries of the king, and here he has framed a letter to a sequence of the stranger queens, which accidentally on the way of progression hath miscarried. Oh, trot, trip, and go, my sweet. Delivereth this paper to the royal hand of the king. It may concern much. Stay not thy compliment. It may to thy paper, forgive thy duty, adieu.
Good Costard, go with me. Sir, God save your life.
Have with thee, my girl.
Oh, sir, you have done this in the fear of God, very religiously, and as a certain father saith.
Oh, sir, tell me not of the father. I do fear colorable colors. But to return to the verses, did they please you, Sir Nathaniel?
Oh, yeah, marvellous well for the pen.
I do dine today at the father's of a certain pupil of mine, where, if before repast, it shall please you to gratify the table with a grace, I will, on my privilege I have with the parents of the foresaid child or pupil, undertake your benvenuto, where I will prove those verses to be very unlearned, neither savoring of poetry, wit, nor invention. I beseech your society.
And thank you too for society, saith the text is the happiness of life.
And certes the text most infallibly concludes it. Sir Dull, I do invite you to. You shall not say me nay. Pauca verba. Away. The gentles are at their game, and we will to our recreation.
The king is hunting the deer. I'm coursing myself. They have pitched to toil. I'm toiling in a pitch that defiles. Defile, a foul word. Well, set thee down, sorrow, for so they say. The fool said, and so say I, and I the fool. Well, prove it wit. By the Lord, this love is as mad as Ajax. It kills sheep. It kills me. I, a sheep. Well, prove it again on my side. I will not love. If I do, hang me. In faith, I will not. Oh, but her eye. By this light, but for her eye, I would not love her. Yes, for her 2 eyes. Well, I do nothing in the world but lie, and lie in my throat. By heaven, I do love, and it hath taught me to rhyme and to be melancholy, and here is part of my rhyme, and here my melancholy. Well, she hath one of my sonnets already. The clown bore it, the fool sent it, and the lady hath it. Sweet clown, sweeter fool, sweetest lady, by the world I would not care. A pin, if the other three were in. Here comes one with a paper. God give him grace to groan.
I mean...
Shot by heaven, proceed, sweet Cupid. Thou hast thumped him with thy bird bolt under the left pap. In faith, secrets.
So sweet a kiss the golden sun gives not to those whose fresh morning drops upon the rose, as thy eye beams, when their fresh rays have smote the night of dew that on my cheeks down flows. Nor shines the silver moon one half so bright through the transparent bosom of the night, as doth thou face through tears of mine give light. Thou shinest in every tear that I do weep. No drop but as a coach doth carry thee, so ridest thou triumphing in my woe. Do but behold the tears that swell in me, and they thy glory through my grief will show. But do not love thyself, then thou wilt keep my tears for glasses, and still make me weep. Oh, queen of queens, how far dost thou excel! No thought can think, nor tongue of mortal tell. How shall she know my griefs? I'll drop the paper. Sweet leaves, shade folly. Who is he comes here? What, Longaville, and reading? Listen, ear.
Now in thy likeness one more fool appear.
Hey, me, I am forsworn!
Why, he comes in like a perjurer wearing papers.
In love, I hope. Oh, sweet fellowship in shame!
One drunkard loves another of the name.
Am I the first to have been perjured so?
I could put thee in comfort, not by two that I know. Thou makest the triumvirate, the corner cap of society, the shape of love's tibbon that hangs up simplicity.
I fear these stubborn lines lack the power to move. Oh, sweet Maria, Empress of my love, these numbers will I tear and write in prose.
Oh, rhymes are guards on wanton Cupid's hose, disfigure not his slop.
This same shall go. Did not the heavenly rhetoric of thine eye, against whom the world cannot hold argument, persuade my heart to this false perjury? Vows for thee broke deserve not punishment. A woman I forswore, but I will prove, thou being a goddess, I forswore not thee. My vow was earthly, thou a heavenly love. Thy grace being gained cures all disgrace in me. Vows are but breath, and breath a vapor is. Then thou, fair sun, which on my earth dost shine, exhalest this vapor vow, in thee it is. If broken then, it is no fault of mine. If by me broke, what fool is not so wise to lose an oath to win a paradise?
This is the liver vein which makes flesh a deity, a green goose a goddess, pure, pure idolatry. God amend us, God amend, we are much out of the way.
By who shall I send this? Company, stay!
All hid, an old infant play. Like a demigod here sit I in the sky, and wretched fools of secrets heedfully o'er I. More sacks to the mill! Oh heavens, I have my wish! Dumain transformed, 4 woodcocks in a dish.
Oh, most divine cake.
O most profane coxcomb.
By heaven, the wonder in a mortal eye.
By earth, she is not corporal, there you lie.
Her amber hair, her foul hath amber quoted.
An amber-colored raven was well noted.
As upright as the cedar.
Stoop, I say, her shoulder is with child.
As fair as day.
Aye, as some days, but then no sun must shine.
Oh, that I had my wish.
And I had mine.
And I mine too, good Lord. Amen, so I had mine. Is not that a good word?
Now I will forget her, but a fever she reigns in my blood, and remembered will be.
A fever in your blood. Why then, incision would let her out in saucers, sweet Miss Prison.
No, once more, I'll read the ode that I have writ.
Once more, I'll mark how love can vary wit.
On a day, alack the day, love whose month is ever May, spied a blossom passing fair, playing in the wanton air. Through the velvet leads the wind, all unseen can passage find, that the lover, sick to death, wished himself the heaven's breath. Ere, quoth he, thy cheeks may blow, ere would I might triumph so. But alike, my hand is sworn, never to pluck thee from thy thorn. Vow, alack, for youth unmeet, youth so apt to pluck a sweet. Do not call it sin in me, that I have forsworn for thee, thou for whom though Jove would swear, Juno but an Ethiop word, and deny himself for Jove, turn immortal for thy love. This will I send, something else more plain, that shall express my true love's fasting pain. Oh, would the king, Berowne and Longaville were lovers too. Ill, to example, ill, would from my forehead wipe a perjured note. But none offend, but all alike do dote.
Domain, thy love is far from charity. You may look pale, but I should blush, I know, to be o'erheard and taken napping so.
Come, sir, you blush as his your case is such. You chided him, offending twice as much. You do not love Maria Longaville, did never sonnet for her sake compile, nor never lay his wreathed arms athwart his loving bosom to keep down his heart. I have been closely shrouded in this bush, and marked you both, and for you both did blush. I heard your guilty rhymes, observed your fashion, saw sighs reek from you, noted well your passion. Ay me, says one, oh Jove, the other cries. One, her hairs were gold, crystal, the other's eyes. Longaville, you would for paradise break faith and troth, and Domain, Jove for your love would infringe an oath. What will Berowne say when that he shall hear faith so infringed, with such zeal did swear? How will he scorn? How will he spend his wit? How will he triumph, leap, and laugh at it? For all the wealth that ever I did see, I would not have him know so much by me.
Now step I forth to whip hypocrisy. Ah, good my liege, I pray thee pardon me. Good heart, what grace hast thou thus to reprove these worms for loving that art most in love? Your eyes do make no coaches in your tears. There is no certain princess that appears. You'll not be perjured, 'tis a hateful thing. Tush! None but minstrels like of sonneting. But are you not ashamed, nay, are you not, all three of you, to be thus much o'ershot? You found his mote, the king your mote did see, but my a beam do find in each of three. Oh, What a scene of foolery have I seen, of sighs, of groans, of sorrow, and of teen! Oh me, with what strict patience have I sat, to see a king transformed to a gnat, to see great Hercules whipping a gig, and profound Solomon to tune a jig, and Nestor play at pushpin with the boys, and critic Timon laugh at idle toys. Where lies thy grief? Oh, tell me, good Domain, and gentle Longaville, where lies thy pain? And where my lieges all about the breast, a coddle ho!
Too bitter is thy jest. Are we betrayed thus to thy overview?
Not you to me, but I betrayed by you! I that am honest, I that hold it sin to break the vow I am engaged in. I am betrayed by keeping company with men like men of inconstancy. When shall you see me write a thing in rhyme, or groan for love, or spend a minute's time in pruning me? When shall you hear that I will praise a hand, a foot, a face, an eye, a gait, a state, a brow, a breast, a waist, a leg, a limb?
Soft, whither away so fast? A true man or thief that gallops so?
I post from love. Good lover, let me go!
God bless the king.
What present hast thou there?
Some treason, some certain treason.
What makes treason here?
Ah, nay, it makes nothing, sir.
If it mar nothing neither, the treason and you go in peace away together.
I beseech your grace, let this letter be read.
Our parson, Berowne, read it over. Where hadst thou it?
Of Costard.
Where hast thou it?
Of Don Armandio. Don Armandio.
How now, Berowne, what is in you? Why dost thou tear it?
A toy, my liege, a toy. Your grace needs not fear it.
No, it did move him to passion. Therefore, let's hear it.
It is Berowne's writing, and here's his name.
Costard, you whoreson loggerhead, you were born to do me shame. Guilty, my lord, guilty. I confess,
What?
that you three fools lacked me fool to make up the mess. He, and you, my liege, and I pick purses in love, and we deserve to die. Oh, dismiss this audience, and I shall tell you more.
Now the number is even.
True, we are four. Will these turtles be gone?
Hence, sirs, away.
Walk aside the true folks and let the traitors stay.
Sweet lords, sweet lovers, oh, let us embrace! As true we are, as flesh and blood can be. The sea will ebb and flow, heaven show his face. Young blood doth not obey an old decree. We cannot cross the cause why we were born. Therefore, of all hands must we be forsworn.
What? Did these rent lines show some love of thine?
Did they, quoth you? Who sees the heavenly Rosaline, that like a rude and savage man of Indy, at the first opening of the gorgeous east, bows not his vassal head, and strucken blind, kisses the base ground with obedient breast. What peremptory, eagle-sighted eye dares look upon the heaven of her brow, that is not blinded by her majesty?
Oh, what zeal! What fury hath inspired thee now? My love, her mistress, is a gracious moon. She an attending star, scarce seen a light.
My eyes are then no eyes, nor I, Berowne. Oh, but for my love, day would turn to night. Of all complexions, the called sovereignty do meet as at a fair in her fair cheek, where several worthies make one dignity, where nothing wants that want itself doth seek. Lend me the flourish of all gentle tongues. Fie, painted rhetoric! Oh, she needs it not. To things of sale a seller's praise belongs. She passes praise, then praise too short doth blot. A withered hermit, 50 winters worn, might shake off 50 looking in her eye. Beauty doth varnish age, as if newborn, and gives the crutch the cradle's infancy. Oh, 'tis the sun that maketh all things shine.
By heaven, thy love is black as ebony.
Is ebony like her? A wood divine! A wife of such wood were felicity! Oh, who can give an oath? Where is a book that I may swear beauty doth beauty lack? If that she learn not of her eye to look, no face is fair that is not full so black.
Ah! Paradox! Black is the badge of hell, the hue of dungeons, and the suit of night. And beauty's crest becomes the heavens well.
Devils soonest tempt, resembling spirits of light. Oh, if in black my lady's brows be decked, it mourns that painting and usurping hair should ravish doters with a false aspect, and therefore is she born to make black fair. Her favor turns the fashion of the days. Her native blood is counted painting now, and therefore red, that would of old dispraise, paints itself black to imitate her brow.
To look like her, a chimney sweeper's black.
And since her time, her colliers counted bright.
And Ethiops of their sweet complexion crack.
Dark needs no candles now, for dark is light.
Your mistresses dare never come in rain, for fear their colours should be washed away.
'Twere good yours did, for sir, to tell you plain, I'll find a fairer face not washed today.
I'll prove her fair, or talk till doomsday here.
No devil will fright thee then so much as she.
I never knew man hold vile stuff so dear.
Look, here's thy love, my foot, and her face see.
Oh, if the streets were paved with thine eyes, her feet were much too dainty for such tread.
Oh, vile. Then as she goes, what lies? The streets should see as she walked over her head.
But what of this? Are we not all in love?
Ah, nothing so sure, and thereby all forsworn.
Then leave this chat. Good Berowne, now prove our loving lawful, and our faith not torn.
Aye, marry there. Some flattery for this evil.
Some authority on how to proceed, some tricks, some quillets, how to cheat the devil.
Some salve for perjury.
'Tis more than need. Have at it you then, affection's men at arms. Consider what you first did swear unto, to fast, to study, and to see no woman. Flat treason gainst the kingly state of youth. Say, can you fast? Your stomachs are too young, and abstinence engenders maladies. And where that you have vowed to study, lords, and that each of you have forsworn his book, can you still dream and pore and thereon look? For when would you, my lord, or you, have found the ground of study's excellence without the beauty of a woman's face? Why, universal plodding poisons up the nimble spirits in the arteries, as motions and long-during action tires the sinewy vigor of the traveler. Now, for not looking on a woman's face, you have in that forsworn the use of eyes, and study too the causer of your vow. For where is any author in the world teaches such beauty as a woman's eye? Learning is but an adjunct to ourself, and where we are, our learning likewise is. Then when ourselves we see in ladies' eyes, do we not likewise see our learning there? Oh, we have made a vow to study, lords, and in that vow we have forsworn our books. For when would you, my liege, or you, in leaden contemplation have found out such fiery numbers as the prompting eyes of beauty's tutors have enriched you with? Other slow arts entirely keep the brain, and therefore, finding barren practisers, scarce show a harvest of their heavy toil. But love, first learned in a lady's eyes, lives not alone, immured in the brain, but with the motion of all elements, courses as swift as thought in every power, and gives to every power a double power. Above their functions and their offices, it adds a precious seeing to the eye. A lover's eyes will gaze an eagle blind. A lover's ear will hear the lowest sound when the suspicious head of theft is stopped. Love's feeling is more soft and sensible than are the tender horns of cockled snails. Love's tongue proves dainty Bacchus gross in taste, for valor is not love a Hercules, still climbing trees in the Hesperides, subtle as Sphinx, as sweet and musical as bright Apollo's lute strung with his hair. And when love speaks, the voice of all the gods makes heaven drowsy with the harmony. Never durst poet touch a pen to write until his ink were tempered with love's sighs. Oh, then his lines would ravage savage ears and plant in tyrants mild humility. From women's eyes this doctrine I derive. They sparkle still the right Promethean fire. They are the books, the arts, the academes that show, contain, and nourish all the world. Else none at all in aught proves excellent. Then, fools you were these women to forswear, or keeping what is sworn you will prove fools. For wisdom's sake, a word that all men love, or for love's sake, a word that loves all men, or for men's sake, the author of these women, or women's sake, by whom we men are men. Let us once lose our oaths to find ourselves, or else we lose ourselves to keep our oaths. It is religion to be thus forsworn, for charity itself fulfills the law, and who can sever love from charity?
Saint Cupid, then, and soldiers, to the field!
Advance your standards, and upon them, lords, pell-mell down with them. But be first advised, in conflict that you get the son of them.
Well, now to the plain dealing. Ladies glossed by. Shall we resolve to woo these girls of France?
And win them too. Therefore, let us devise some entertainment for them in their tents.
First, from the park, let us conduct them thither. Then, Homeward every man attach the hand of his fair mistress.
Okay.
In the afternoon we will with some strange pastime solace them, such as the shortness of the time can shape, for revels, dances, masks, and merry hours, for unfair love strewing her way with flowers.
Away, away, no time shall be omitted that will betime, and may by us be fitted.
Allons, allons. Ha, sowed cockle reap no corn, and justice always whirls in equal measure. Light wenches may prove plagues to men forsworn. If so, our copper buys no better treasure.
Saw this quote so featured?
Oh, I praise God for you, sir. Your reasons at dinner have been sharp and sententious, pleasant without scurrility, witty without affectation, audacious without impudency, learned without opinion, and strange without heresy. I did converse this quondam day with a companion of the king's who is intituled, nominated, or called Don Adriano de Armado.
Novia hominem tanquante. His humor is lofty, his discourse peremptory, his tongue filed, his eye ambitious, his gait majestical, and his general behavior vain, ridiculous, and thrasonical. Oh, he is too picked, too spruce, too affected, too old, as it were, too peregrinate, as I may call it.
A most singular and choice epithet.
He draws out the thread of his verbosity finer than the staple of his argument. I abhor such fanatical phantasms, such insociable and point-devised companions, such rackers of orthography, as to speak doubt fine when he should say doubt, debt when he should pronounce debt, D-E-T, not D-E-B-T. He clappeth a calf, off, taff, oh, neighbor, vocator, neighbor, nay, abbreviated me. This is abominable, which he would call abominable. It insinuateth me of insani, ane intelligis domine, to make frantic, lunatic.
Lauteo, bene intelligio.
No, bonbon. Oh, full bon, Priskian, a little scratched. Twill serve.
Oh, vidis ne quis venit?
Video et gaudio.
Kira!
Quare, Chira, not Syrah.
Men of peace, well encountered.
Oh, most military, sir, salutation.
They have been at the great feast of languages and stolen this grass. Ha!
They have lived long on the alms basket of words. I marvel that thy master hath not eaten thee for a word, for thou art no so long as the head of a honorificale tunida talibus. Thou art easier swallowed than a flat dragon.
Feast appeal begins.
Monsieur, are you not lettered?
Yes, he teaches the boys the horn book. What is a B spelled backwards with the horn on his head?
Ba Purizia, with a horn added.
Ah, most silly sheep with a horn you hear is learning.
Quis, thou consonant?
The third of 5 vowels if you repeat them, or the fifth of 5.
I will repeat them. A, E, I.
The sheep, ba. The other 2 concludes in OU.
Now, by the salt wave of the Mediterranean, a sweet touch, a quick venue of wit, snip, snap, quick and home. It rejoices my intellect. True wit.
Offered by a child to an old man, which is whittled.
What is the figure? What is the figure?
Horns?
Thou disputest like an infant. Go whip thy gig.
Lend me your horns to make one, and I'll whip about your infamy circa, a gig of a cuckold's horn.
And I had but one penny the word, thou shouldst have it to buy gingerbread. Hold there's very remuneration had I thy master. Thou halfpenny purse of wit, thou pigeon egg of discretion. Oh, and heavens were so pleased that thou wert but my bastard. What a joyful father wouldst thou make me. Go to, and thou hast a dunghill at the finger's end, as they say.
Oh, I smell false Latin. Dunghill for unguent.
Artsman, perambulate. We will be singled from the barbarous. Do you not educate the youth at the church house on top of the mountain?
Amongst the hill?
At your sweet pleasure for the mountain.
I do, sans question.
Sir, it is the king's most sweet pleasure and affection to congratulate the princess in her pavilion in the posteriors of the day, which the rude multitudes do call the afternoon.
The posterior of the day, most generous sir, is liable, congruent, and measurable for the afternoon. The word is well culled, chose, sweet, and apt. I do assure you, sir, I do assure.
Sir, the king is a noble gentleman, and my familiar, I do assure you, very good friend. For what is inward between us, let it pass. I do beseech thee, remember thy courtesy. I beseech thee, apparel thy head, and among other important and most serious designs, and of great importance indeed too, but that pass, for I must tell thee, it will please his grace, by the world, sometime to lean upon my poor shoulder, and with his royal finger, thus to dally with my excrement, with my mustachio. But, sweetheart, let that pass. By the world, I recount no fable, for some special honors it pleases his greatness to impart to Armado, a soldier, a man of travel that has seen the world. But let that pass. The very all of all is, but sweetheart, I do implore secrecy, that the king would have me present the princess, sweet Jack, with some delightful ostentation, a show, a pageant, an antic, a firework. Now, understanding that the curate and your sweet self are good at such eruptions and sudden breaking out of mirth, as it were, I have acquainted you with all, to the end to crave your assistance.
Sir, you shall present before her the 9 worthies. Sir, as concerning some entertainment of time, some show in the posterior of the day, to be rendered by our assistants at the king's command, and this most gallant, illustrate, and learned gentleman before you, before the princess, I say none so fit as to present the 9 worthies.
Where will you find men worthy enough to present them?
Oh, assure yourself, myself and this gallant gentleman, Judas Maccabeus. Oh, this swain, because of his great limb or joint, shall pass Pompey the Great. The page, Hercules.
Pardon, sir, error. He's not quantity enough for that worthy stump. He's not so big as the end of his club.
Shall I have audience? He shall present Hercules in minority. His enter and exit shall be strangling a snake, and I shall have an apology for that purpose.
An excellent device. So if any of the audience hiss, you may cry, "Well done, Hercules! Now that I crushes the snake, That is the fastest way to make an offense gracious, so few have the grace to do it.
And for the rest of the bodies?
I will play free myself.
Thrice-worthy gentlemen.
Shall I tell you a thing?
We attend?
We will have, if this fudge not, an antic. I beseech you, follow.
Oh, Via, good man Dull, thou hast not spoken a word all this while.
Nor understood none either.
Hello, we will employ thee.
I'll make one in the dance. Also, I will play on the table to the worthies and let them dance for hey.
Most dull, honest Dull, to our sport, away!
Sweethearts, we shall be rich ere we depart, if fairings come this plentifully in, a lady walled about with diamonds. Look you what I have from the loving king.
Madam, came nothing else along with that?
Nothing but this. Yes, as much love and rhyme as would be crammed up in a sheet of paper, writ on both sides of the leaf, margins and all, that it was faint seal with Cupid's name.
That was the way to make his godhead wax, for he hath been 5,000 years a boy.
Aye, and the shrewd unhappy gallows too.
You'll ne'er be friends with him, he killed your sister.
He made her melancholy, sad, and heavy, and so she died. Had she been light like you, of such a merry, nimble, stirring spirit, she might have been a grandam ere she died. And so may you, for a light heart lives long.
What's your dark meaning, mouse, of this light word?
A white condition in a beauty dark.
We need more light to find your meaning out.
You'll mar the light by taking it in snuff, therefore I'll darkly end the argument.
Look what you do still in the dark.
Ah, so do not you, for you are a light wench.
Indeed, I weigh not you, and therefore light.
Weigh me not. Oh, that you care not for me.
Great reason, for past cure is still past care.
Well bandied both, a set of wits well played. But Rosaline, you have a favor too. Who sent it, and what is it?
I would you knew, and if my face were but as fair as yours, my favor were as great. Be witness this. Nay, I have verses too, I think, Berowne, the numbers true, and were the numbering too. I were the fairest goddess on the ground. I am compared to 20,000 fairs. Oh, he hath drawn my picture in his letter.
Leaping light?
Much in the letters, nothing in the praise.
Beauteous as ink, a good conclusion.
Fair as a text be in a copybook.
Where pencils, ho! Let me not die your debtor. My red domicile, my golden letter. Oh, that your face were not so full of O's.
Pox of that jest, and I beshrew all shows.
But Katherine, what was sent you from fair Domain?
Madam, this glove.
Did he not send you twain?
Yes, madam, and moreover some 1,000 verses of a faithful lover, a huge translation of hypocrisy, vilely compiled, profound simplicity.
This and these pearls sent to me by Longaville. The letter is too long by half a mile.
I think no less. Dost thou not wish in heart the chain were longer and the letter short?
Aye, or I would these hands might never part.
We are wise girls to mock our lovers so.
They are worse fools to purchase mocking so. That same Berowne I'll torture ere I go. Oh, that I knew he were but in by the week, how I would make him fawn and beg and seek, and wait the season and observe the times, and spend his prodigal wits in bootless rhymes, and shape his service wholly to my hest, and make him proud to make me proud that jests. So pertant like would I o'erstay or sway his state, that he would be my fool, and I his fate.
None are so surely caught when they are catched as wit turned fool. Folly and wisdom hatched hath wisdom's warrant and the help of school, and wit's own grace to grace a learned fool.
The blood of youth burns not with such excess as gravity's revolt to wantonness.
Folly in fools bears not so strong a note as foolery in the wise, when wit doth dote, since all the power thereof it doth apply to prove by wit worth in simplicity.
Here comes Boyette, and mirth is in his face.
Oh, I am stabbed with laughter. Where's her grace?
Thy news, Boyette?
Prepare, madam, prepare. Armed wenches arms, encounters mount are against your peace. Love doth approach disguised. Armed in arguments, you'll be surprised. Muster up your wits, stand in your own defense, or hide your heads like cowards and fly hence.
Saint Dennis to Saint Cupid! What are they that charge their breath against us? Say, scout, say.
Under the cool shade of a sycamore, I thought to close mine eyes some half an hour, when lo, to interrupt my purpose rest, towards that shade I might behold addressed the king and his companions. Warily I stole into a neighboring thick, by and overheard what you shall overhear. That by and by, disguised they will be here. Their herald is a pretty Nabbit's page, that well by heart has conned in passage, actions and accent that they teach him there. Thus must thou speak, and thus must I bear. And ever and anon they made a doubt, presence majestical would put him out. For, quoth the king, an angel shalt thou see, yet fear not, but speak audaciously. The boy replied, an angel is not evil. I should have feared her had she been a devil. With that all laughed and clapped him on the shoulder, making bold wage of their praises bolder. One rubbed elbows and thus and fleered and sworn. A better speech was never spoke before. Another with his finger and thumb cried, Thea will doeth, come what will come. A third capered and cried, all goes well. The fourth turned a toe, and down he fell. With that all did tumble to the ground, with such jealous laughter so profound, that in this spleen ridiculous appears, to catch their folly, catch them solemn tears.
But what? Come they to visit us?
They do, and are apparelled thus, like Muscovites or Russians, as I guess. Their purpose is to parlay, to court and dance, and everyone and his love feet will advance unto their several mistresses, which they know, by the favors several which they did bestow.
And will they so? The gallants shall be tasked, for, ladies, we shall every one be masked. And not a man of them shall have a grace, despite of suit, to see a lady's face. Hold, Rosaline, this favor thou shalt wear, and then the king will take thee for his dear. Hold, take thou this, my sweet, and give me thine. So shall Berowne take me for Rosaline. And change your favors too, so shall your loves woo contrary, deceived by these removes.
Come on, then where the favors most in sight?
But in this changing, what is your intent?
The effect of my intent is to cross theirs. They do it but in mocking merriment, and mock for mock is only my intent. Their several counsels they unbosom shall to loves mistook, and so be mocked withal upon the next occasion that we meet, with visages displayed to talk and greet.
But shall we dance, if they desire to it?
No, to the death we will not move a foot, nor to their pen speeches render we no grace, but when to spoke, each turn away her face.
Why, that contempt will kill the speaker's heart, and quite divorce his memory from his part.
Therefore I do it, and I make no doubt the rest will ne'er come in, if he be out. There's no such sport as sport by sport or throne, to make theirs ours, and ours none but our own. So shall we stay mocking intended game, and they, well mocked, depart away with shame.
The trumpet sounds, be masked, the maskers come.
All hail the richest beauties of the earth.
Beauty's no richer than taffeta.
A holy parcel of the fairest dames that ever turned their backs to mortal views.
Their eyes, villains, their eyes.
That ever turned their eyes to mortal views. Out?
True, out indeed.
Out of your favors, heavenly spirits, vouchsafe not to behold.
Once to behold, rogue.
Once to behold with your sunbeamed eyes, with your sunbeamed eyes.
I will not answer to that epithet. You are best called it daughter-beamed eyes.
They do not mark me, that brings me out.
Is this your perfectness? Begone, you rogue.
But would these strangers know their minds, Boyette? If they do speak our language, 'tis our will that some plain man recount their purposes, know what they would.
What would you with the princess?
Nothing but peace and gentle visitation.
What would they, say they?
Nothing but peace and gentle visitation.
Why, that they have, and bid them so be gone.
She says you have it, and you may be gone.
Say to her, we have measured many miles to tread a measure with her on this grass.
They say that they have measured many a miles to tread a measure with you on this grass.
It is not so. Ask them how many inches is in 1 mile. If they have measured many, the measure then of one is easily told.
If to come hither you have measured miles, and many miles, the princess bids you tell, how many inches doth fill up 1 mile?
Tell her we measure them by weary steps.
She hears herself.
How many weary steps, of how many weary miles you have o'ergone, are numbered in the travel of 1 mile.
We number nothing that we spend for you. Our duty is so rich, so infinite, that we may do it still without a compt. Vouchsafe to show the sunshine of your face, that we, like savages, may worship it.
My face is but a moon, and clouded too.
Blessed are clouds to do as such clouds do. Vouchsafe, bring moon and these thy stars to shine, those clouds removed upon our watery eyne.
O vain petitioner, beg a greater matter. Thou now requestest but moonshine in the water.
Oh, then in our measure do but vouchsafe one change. Thou bidst me beg, this begging is not strange.
Play music then. Nay, you must do it soon. Not yet. No dance. Thus change I like the moon.
Will you not dance? How come you thus estranged?
You took the moon at full, but now she's changed.
Yet still she is the moon, and I the man. The music plays. Vouchsafe some motion to it.
Our ears vouchsafe it.
Ah, but your legs should do it.
Since you are strangers and come here by chance, will not be nice. Take hands. We will not dance.
Why take we hands then?
Only to part friends. Curtsy, sweethearts, and so the measure ends.
Ah, more measure of this measure. Be not nice.
We can afford no more at such a price.
Prize yourselves. What buys your company?
Your absence only.
Well, that can never be.
Then cannot we be bought, and so adieu. Twice to your visor, and half once to you.
If you deny to dance, let's hold more chat.
In private, then.
I am best pleased with that.
Belle maîtresse à la main d'albâtre, un mot de douceur avec vous.
Miel, lait et sucre. Voilà 3 mots.
Et 2 fois 3, si vous devenez si friande, hydromel, mou de bière et malvoisie, des bien jetés, voilà une demi-douzaine de douceurs.
7e douceur à Dieu. Puisque vous avez le secret de piper les dés, je ne veux plus jouer avec vous.
Un mot en secret?
Oh, je vous prie que ce mot ne soit pas une douceur.
Vous aigrissez ma bile.
La bile. Ce mot est amer.
En ce cas, il est à propos.
Will you vouchsafe with me to change a word?
Name it.
Fair lady.
Oh, say you so? Fair lord, take that for your fair lady.
Please adieu, as much in private, and I'll bid adieu.
What, was your wizard made without a tongue?
I no reason, lady, why you ask?
Oh, for your reason. Quickly, sir, I long.
Oh, you have a double tongue within your mask, and would afford my speechless wizard half.
Veal, quoth the Dutchman, is not veal a calf?
A calf, dear lady.
No, a fair lord calf.
Oh, let's part the word.
No, I'll not be your half. Take all and wean it, it may prove an ox.
Look how you butt yourself in these sharp marks. Will you give horns, chaste lady? Do not so.
Then die a calf before your horns do grow.
No, one word in private, will you, ere I die?
Bleat softly, then, the butcher hears you cry.
The tongues of mocking witches are as keen as his razor's edge invisible, cutting a smaller hair than may be seen. Above the sense of sense so sensible, seemeth their conference, their conceit have wings, fleeter than arrows, bullets, winds through swifter things.
Not one word more, my maids. Break off, break off.
By heaven, all dry beaten with pure scoff.
Farewell, mad wenches. You have simple wits.
20 adieus, my frozen Muscovits. He's the breed of a wit so wondered at.
Tapers they are, with your sweet breaths puffed out.
Well-liking wits they have, gross, gross, fat, fat.
Oh, poverty and wit, kingly poor flout. Will they not, think you, hang themselves tonight? Or ever, but in vizard, show their faces? This pert Berowne was out of countenance quite.
Oh, they were all in lamentable cases. The king was weeping ripe for a good word.
Berowne did swear himself out of all suit.
Dumaine was at my service, and his sword. No point, quoth I, my servant straight was mute.
Lord Longaville said, I came o'er his heart and show you what he called me.
Qualm, perhaps?
Yes, in good faith.
Oh, sickness as thou art.
Well, better wits have worn plain statue caps, but will you hear? The king is my love forsworn.
And quick Berowne hath plighted faith to me.
And Longaville was for my service born.
Dumaine is mine, as sure as bark on tree.
Madam and pretty mistresses, give ear. Immediately they will again be here, in their own shapes, for it can never be. They will digest this harsh indignity.
Will they return?
Oh, they will, God knows, and leap for joy, though they are lame with blows. Therefore change favors, and, when they repair, blow like sweet roses in this summer's air.
How blow, how blow? Speak to be understood.
Fair ladies, now our rose in their buds, dismask their damask with commixture shown, are angels belling clouds or roses blown.
Avant perplexity. What shall we do if they return in their own shapes to woo?
Good madam, if by me you'll be advised, let's mock them still, as well known as disguised. Let us complain to them what fools were here, disguised like Muscovites and shapeless here, and wonder what they were and to what end their shallow shows and prologue vilely penned, and their rough carriage so ridiculous should be presented at our tent to us.
Ladies, withdraw. The gallants are at hand.
Whip to our tents, as roes run o'er the land.
Fair sir, God save you. Where's the princess?
Oh, gone to her tent. Please it, your majesty, command me any service to her thither.
That she vouchsafe me audience for one word.
I will, and so will she. I know, my lord.
This fellow pecks up wit as pigeons peas, and utters it again when God doth please. He is wit's peddler, and retails his wares at wakes and wassails, meetings, markets, fairs, and we that sell by gross, the Lord doth know, have not the grace to grace it with such show. This gallant pins the wenches on his sleeve. Had he been Adam, he had tempted Eve, and can carve it too. And lisp, why this is he that kissed his hand away in courtesy. This is the ape of form, Monsieur the Nice, that when he plays at tables, chides the dice in honourable terms. Nay, he can sing, a mean most meanly, and in ushering, mend him who can. The ladies call him sweet. The stairs, as he treads on them, kiss his feet. This is the flower that smiles on everyone, to show his teeth as white as whale's bone, and consciences that will not die in debt pay him the due of honey-tongued boyette.
A blister on his sweet tongue with my heart, that put Armado's page out of his port.
See where it comes. Behaviour, what wert thou, till this madman showed thee, and what art thou now?
All hail, sweet madam, and fair time of day.
Fair in all hail is foul, as I conceive.
Construe my speeches better, if you may.
Then wish me better. I will give you leave.
We came to visit you, and purpose now to lead you to our court. Vouchsafe it then.
This field shall hold me, and so hold your vow. Nor God nor I delights in perjured men.
Rebuke me not for that which you provoke. The virtue of your eye must break my oath.
You nickname virtue. Vice you should have spoke, for virtue's office never breaks men's troth. Now, by my maiden honor, yet as pure as the unsullied lily, I protest, a world of torments though I should endure, I would not yield to be your house's guest. So much I hate a breaking cause to be of heavenly oaths, vowed with integrity.
Oh, you have lived in desolation here, unseen, unvisited, much to our shame.
Not so, my lord. It is not so, I swear. We have had pastimes here and pleasant game. A mess of Russians left us but of late.
How, madam? Russians!
Aye, in truth, my lord, trim gallants full of courtship and of state.
Madam, speak true. It is not so, my lord. My lady, to the manner of the days, in courtesy gives undeserving praise. We four, indeed, confronted were with four in Russian habit. Here they stayed an hour, and talked apace, and in that hour, my lord, they did not bless us with one happy word. I dare not call them fools, but this I think, when they are thirsty, fools would fain have drink.
This jest is dry to me, fair gentle sweet. Your wit makes wise things foolish when we greet. With eyes best seeing, heaven's fiery eye, by light we lose light. Your capacity is of that nature that to your huge store wise things seem foolish and rich things but poor.
This proves you wise and rich, for in my eye
I am a fool and full of poverty.
but that you take what doth to you belong, it were a fault to snatch words from my tongue.
Oh, I am yours, and all that I possess.
All the fool mine.
I cannot give you less.
Which of the vizards was it that you wore?
Where? When? What vizard? Why demand you this?
There, then, that vizard, that superfluous case that hid the worst and showed the better face.
We are descried. They'll mock us now downright.
Let us confess and turn it to a jest.
Amazed, my lord. Why looks your highness sad?
Help, hold his brows, he'll swoon. Why look you pale? Seasick, I think, coming from Muscovy.
Thus pour the stars down plagues for perjury. Can any face of brass hold longer out? Lady, dart thy skill at me. Bruise me with scorn. Confound me with a flout. Thrust thy sharp wit through my ignorance. Cut me to pieces with thy keen conceit, and I will wish thee nevermore to dance, nor nevermore in Russian habit wait. Oh, never will I trust a speech's penned, nor to the motion of a schoolboy's tongue, nor never come in vizard to my friend, nor woo in rhyme like a blind harper's song. Taffeta phrases, a silken term precise, three-pealed hyperboles, spruce affectation, figures pedantical. Oh, these summer flies have blown me full of maggot ostentation. I do forswear them, and I here protest. By this white glove, how white the hand, God knows, henceforth my wooing mind shall be expressed in russet yeas and honest curtsy knows. And to begin, wench, so God help me, la, my love to thee is sound, sans crack or flaw.
Sans, I pray you.
Yet I have a trick of the old rage, bear with me. I am sick. I'll leave it by degrees. Soft, let me see. Right. Lord have mercy on us, on those three. They are infected in their hearts, it lies. They have the plague and caught it of your eyes. These lords are visited. You are not free, For the Lord's tokens on you do I see.
Ceux qui nous ont donné ces signes en doivent être délivrés.
Nos états sont confisqués. Ne cherchez pas à achever de nous détruire.
It is not so, for how can this be true that you stand forfeit, being those that sue?
Peace! For I will not have to do with you.
Nor shall not, if I do as I intend.
Speak for yourselves. My wit is at an end.
Teach us, sweet madam, for our rude transgression some fair excuse.
The fairest is confession. Were you not here, but even now disguised?
Madam, I was.
And were you well advised?
I was, fair madam.
When you then were here, what did you whisper in your lady's ear?
That more than all the world I did respect her.
When she shall challenge this, you will reject her.
Upon mine honor, no.
Peace, peace, forbear. Your oath once broke, you force not to forswear.
Despise me when I break this oath of mine.
I will, and therefore keep it. Rosaline, what did the Russian whisper in your ear?
Madam, he swore that he did hold me dear as precious eyesight, and did value me above this world, adding thereto moreover that he would wed me, or else die my lover.
God give thee joy of him. The noble lord most honorably doth unhold his word.
What mean you, madam? By my life, my troth, I never swore this lady such an oath.
By heaven you did, and to confirm it plain, you gave me this, but take it, sir, again.
My faith and this, the princess I did give. I knew her by this jewel on her sleeve.
Pardon me, sir, this jewel did she wear? And Lord Berowne, I thank him, is my dear.
Oh!
What? Will you have me or your pearl again?
Neither of either. I remit both twain. I see the trick on it. Here was a consent, knowing aforehand of our merriment, to dash it like a Christmas comedy, some carry tale, some pleaseman, some slight zany, some mumble news, some trencher knight, some dick that smiles his cheek in years and knows the trick. To make my lady laugh when she's disposed, told our intents before, which once disclosed, the ladies did change favors, and then we, following the signs, who wooed but the sign of she, now to our perjury, to add more terror, we are again forsworn in will and error. Much upon this is it, and might not you, Boyette, forestall our sport to make us thus untrue? Do not you know my lady's foot by the squire, and laugh upon the apple of her eye, and stand between her back, sir, and the fire, holding a trencher, jesting merrily? You put our page out. Go! You are allowed. Die when you will. A smock shall be your shroud. You leer upon me, do you? There's an eye wounds like a leaden sword.
Well, merrily, hath this brave managed, this career been run?
No, he is tilting straight. Peace, I have done. Welcome, pure wit. Thou partest a fair fray.
Oh, Lord, sir, they would know whether the three worthies shall come in or no.
What? Are there but three?
No, sir, but 'tis very fine. For everyone pursues three.
And 3 times thrice is 9.
Not so, sir. Under correction, sir. I hope it is not so. You cannot beg us, sir. I assure you, sir, that we know what we know, and I hope, sir, 3 times thrice, sir.
Is not 9.
Under correction, sir, we know where until it doth amount.
By Jove! I always took 3 threes for 9.
Oh, Lord, sir! It were a pity you should get your living by reckoning, sir.
How much is it?
Oh, Lord, sir, the parties themselves, the actors, will show whether doth amount. For my own part, As they say, I am to perfect one man, one poor man. Pompeian the Great, sir.
Art thou one of the worthies?
It pleased them to think me worthy of Pompeian the Great. For my own part, I know not the degree of the worthy, but I am to stand for him.
Go, bid them prepare.
We will turn it finely, sir. We will take some care.
Berowne, they will shame us. Let them not approach.
Oh, we are shame-proof, my lord, and 'tis some policy to have one show worse than the king's and his company.
I say they shall not come.
Nay, my good lord, let me o'errule you now. That sport best pleases that doth least know how. Where zeal strives to content, and the contents dies in the zeal of that which it presents. Their form confounded makes most form and mirth, when great things laboring perish in their birth.
A right description of our sport, my lord.
Anointed, I implore so much expense of thy royal sweet breath, as will utter a brace of words.
Cet homme, c'est-il Dieu?
Pourquoi me faites-vous cette question, madame?
C'est qu'il ne parle pas comme les hommes que Dieu a créés.
That is all one, my fair, sweet honey monarch, for I protest, the schoolmaster is exceeding fantastical, too vain, too vain. But we will put it, as they say, to fortuna de la guerra. I wish you peace of mind, most royal government.
Here is like to be a good presence of worthies. He presents Hector of Troy, the swain, Pompey the Great, the parish curate, Alexander, Armado's page, Hercules, the pedant, Judas Maccabeus, and if these 4 worthies in their first show thrive, these 4 will change habits and present the other 5.
There is 5 in the first show.
You are deceived, 'tis not so.
Oh, the pedant, the braggart, the hedge priest, the fool, and the boy. A bait throw at Novum and the whole world again. Cannot pick out 5 such. Take each one in his vein.
Ah, the ship is under sail, and here she comes again.
I, Pompey, am...
Why, you are not he.
I, Pompey, am...
Me.
Well said, old mocker. I must needs be friends with thee.
I, Pompey, am... Pompey, surname... The Big.
The Great.
It is great, sir. Pompey, surnamed the Great. That, often filled with targe and shield, did make his foe do sweet. So that, and traveling among his coast, here I come by chance, and lay my arms before the legs of the sweet lass of France. If your ladyship would say, thank you, Pompey, I had done.
Great thanks, great Pompey.
'Tis not so much the worth, I hope I was perfect. I made a little fault in the great.
My hat to a halfpenny, Pompey, proves the best worthy.
When in the world I lived, I was the world's commander. By east, west, north, and south, I spread my conquering might. My scutcheon plain declares that I...
No, sis, no. You are not, for it stands to right.
Your nose smells no in this most tender-smelling night.
Conqueror is dismayed. Proceed, good Alexander.
When in the world I lived, I was the world's commander.
True, 'tis right. You were so, Alexander.
Pompey the Great!
Your servant and Costard.
Take away the conqueror. Take away Alexander.
Sir Nathaniel, sir, you have been overthrown. Alexander the Conqueror, you have been scrapped out of painted cloth for this. Your lion that holds his poleaxe, sitting on a close stool, will be given to Ajax, and he will be the 9th worthy, a conqueror and afeard to speak. Run away for shame, Alexander, run away. Go. Their aunt shall please you, a foolish mild man, an honest man look you, and soon dashed. He is a marvellously good neighbor, faith, and very good bowler. But for Alexander, alas, you see how 'tis. A little prepared. But there are other worthies a-coming. We will speak their mind in some and other sort.
Great Hercules is presented by this imp, whose club killed Cerberus, that 3-headed Canis, and when he was a babe, a child, a shrimp, this did he strangle serpents in his manus. Quorum he seemeth in minority, ergo I come in with this apology. Keep some state in thy exit and vanish. Judas I am.
Judas?
Not Iscariot, sir. Judas I am, ye clipped Maccabeus.
Judas Maccabeus is playing Judas.
A kissing traitor. How art thou proved, Judas?
Judas I am.
For shame for you, Judas.
What mean you, sir?
To make Judas hang himself.
Begin, sir. You are my elder.
Well followed! Judas was hanged on an elder.
I will not be put out of countenance.
Because thou hast no face?
What is this?
A citron head?
The head of a bodkin.
A dead's face in a ring.
The face of an old Roman coin, scarce seen.
The pommel of Caesar's falchion.
The carved bone face on a flask.
St. George's half cheek in a brooch.
Aye, and in a brooch of lead.
Aye, and worn in the cap of a troubadour. And now, forward, we have put thee in countenance.
You have put me out of countenance.
Fault, we have given thee faces.
But you have outfaced them all.
And thou wert a lion, we would do so.
Therefore, as he is an ass, let him go. And so, adieu, sweet Jude. Nay, why dost thou stay?
For the latter end of his name.
For the ass to the Jude, give it him! Jude, ass, away!
This is not generous, not gentle, not humble.
A light for Monsieur Judas grows dark, he may stumble.
Alas, poor Maccabeus, how hath he been baited?
Hide thy head, Achilles, here comes Hector in arms!
Thou, my marks come home by me. I would now be married.
Hector was but a Trojan in respect of this.
But is this Hector?
I think Hector was not so clean timbered.
His leg is too big to be Hector's.
More calf, certain.
No, he is best endued in the small.
This cannot be Hector.
He's a god or a painter. He makes faces.
The omnipotent Mars of Lances the Almighty gave Hector a gift.
A gift nutmeg.
A lemon.
Stuck with cloves.
No, cloven.
Peace. The omnipotent Mars of Lances the Almighty gave Hector a gift, the heir of Iliad. A man so brief that certain he would fight, yea, from morn till night, out of his pavilion. I am that flower.
That mint.
That's Columbine!
Sweet Lord Longaville, Rein thy tongue.
Oh, I must rather give it the rein, for it runs against Hector.
Aye, and Hector's a greyhound.
That sweet war man is dead, and rotten sweet chucks. Beat not the bones of the buried. When he breathed, he was a man. But I will forward with my device. Sweet royalty, bestow on me the sons of Hirim.
Speak, brave Hector. We are much delighted.
I do adore thy grace's sleeper.
Loves her by the foot.
He may not by the yard.
This Hector, far surmounted Hannibal.
The party is gone, fellow Hector. She is gone. She is 2 months on her way.
What meanest thou?
Hey, unless you pay the honest Troyan, the poor wench is cast away. She is quick. The child brags in her belly already. 'Tis yours.
Dost thou infaminize me on potentates? Thou shalt die.
Then shall Hector be whipped for Jacqueline. That will be quick by him, and hang for Pompey. That is dead by him.
Most rare Pompey.
Most renowned Pompey.
Greater than great Pompey. Pompey the huge.
Hector trembles.
Pompey is moved. More 80s, more 80s. Stir them on.
Yeah, Hector would challenge him.
Aye, if I have no man's blood in's belly, then will supper flee.
By the North Pole, I do challenge thee.
I will not fight thee with a pole like a northern man. I will slash and do it by the sword. I pray you, let me borrow some arms again.
Room for the incensed worthies.
I'll do it in my shirt.
Most resolute Pompey.
Master, let me take you a buttonhole lower. Do you not see Pompey as encasing for the combat? What mean you? You will lose your reputation.
Gentlemen and soldiers, pardon me. I will not combat in my shirt.
You may not deny it. Pompey hath made the challenge.
Sweet bloods, I both may and will.
What reason have you for it?
The naked truth of it is, I have no shirt. I go woolward for penance.
Ooh, it was enjoined him in Rome for want of linen, since when, I'll be sworn, he wore none but a dishcloth of Jacquelinetta's, and that wears next his heart for favor.
Oh.
God save you, madam.
Welcome, Marcade, but that thou interruptst our entertainment.
I'm sorry, madam, for the news I bring is heavy on my tongue. The king, your father.
Dead, for my life.
Even so, my tale is told.
Worthies, away! The scene begins to cloud.
For mine own part, I breathe free breath. I have seen the day of wrongs through the little hole of discretion, and I will right myself like a soldier.
How fares your majesty?
Voyette, prepare, I will away tonight.
Madam, not so, I do beseech you stay.
Prepare, I say. I thank you, gracious lords, for all your fair endeavors, and entreat, out of a new sad soul, that you vouchsafe in your rich wisdom to excuse or hide the liberal opposition of our spirits, if overboldly we have borne ourselves in the converse of breath. Your gentleness was guilty of it. Farewell, worthy lord. A heavy heart bears not a nimble tongue. Excuse me so, coming too short of thanks for my great suit so easily obtained.
The extreme parts of time extremely forms all causes to the purpose of his speed, and often at his very loose decides that which longer process could not arbitrate. And though the morning brow of progeny forbid the smiling courtesy of love, the holy suit which fain it would convince, yet Since love's argument was first on foot, let not the cloud of sorrow justle it from what it purposed, since to wail friends lost is not by much so wholesome profitable as to rejoice at friends but newly found.
I understand you not. My griefs are double.
Honest plain words best pierce the ear of grief, and by these badges understand the king. For your fair sakes have we neglected time, played foul play with our oaths. Your beauty, ladies, hath much deformed us, fashioning our humours even to the opposed end of our intents. And what in us hath seemed ridiculous, as love is full of unbefitting strains, all wanton as a child, skipping in vain, formed by the eye, and therefore, like the eye, full of strange shapes of habits and of forms, varying in subjects, as the eye doth roll to every varied object in his glance, which party-coated presence of loose love put on by us, if in your heavenly eyes have misbecomed our oaths and gravities, those heavenly eyes that look into these faults suggested us to make. Therefore, ladies, our love being yours, the error that love makes is likewise yours. We to ourselves prove false, by being once false forever to be true to those that make us both fair ladies, you. And even that falsehood, in itself a sin, thus purifies itself and turns to grace.
We have received your letters full of love, your favors, the ambassadors of love, and in our maiden council rated them at courtship, pleasant jest and courtesy, as bombast and as lining to the time. But more devout than this in our respects have we not been, and therefore met your loves in their own fashion, like a merriment.
Our letters, madam, showed much more than jest.
So did our looks.
We did not quote them so.
Now, at the latest minute of the hour, grant us your loves.
A time, methinks, too short to make a world without end bargain in. No, no, my lord, your grace is perjured much, full of dear guiltiness. And therefore this, if for my love, as there is no such cause, you will do aught, this shall you do for me. Your oath I will not trust, but go with speed to some forlorn and naked hermitage, remote from all the pleasures of the world. There stay until the 12 celestial signs have brought about the annual reckoning. If this austere, insociable life change not your offer made in heat of blood, if frosts and fasts, hard lodging and thin weeds nip not the gaudy blossoms of your love, but that it bear this trial and last love, then, at the expiration of the year, come challenge me by these deserts, and by this virgin palm now kissing thine, I will be thine. And till that instant, shut my woeful self up in a mourning house, raining the tears of lamentation for the remembrance of my father's death. If this thou do deny, let our hands part, neither entitled in the other's heart.
If this, or more than this, I would deny, to flatter up these powers of mine with rest, the sudden hand of death close up mine eye. Hence ever then my heart is in thy breast.
But what to me, my love? But what to me? A wife?
A beard, fair health, and honesty. With threefold love I wish you all these three.
Oh, shall I say I thank you, gentle wife?
Not so, my lord. A 12-month and a day I'll mark no words that smooth-faced wooers say. Come when the king doth to my lady come, then, if I have much love, I'll give you some.
I'll serve thee true and faithfully till then.
Yet swear not, lest ye be forsworn again.
What says Maria?
At the 12-month end, I'll change my black gown for a faithful friend.
I'll stay with patience, but the time is long.
The like are you, few taller are so young.
Studies, my lady. Mistress, look on me. Behold the window of my heart, mine eye. What humble suit attends thy answer there? Impose some service on me for thy love?
Oft have I heard of you, my lord Berowne, before I saw you, and the world's large tongue proclaims you for a man replete with mocks, full of comparisons and wounding flouts, which you on all estates will execute that lie within the mercy of your wit, to weed this wormwood from your fruitful brain, and therewithal to win me, if you please. Without the which I am not to be won, you shall this 12-month term from day to day visit the speechless sick, and still converse with groaning wenches, and your task shall be, with all the fierce endeavour of your wit, to enforce the pained impotent to smile.
To move wild laughter in the throat of death? It cannot be! It is impossible! The mirth cannot move a soul in agony!
Why, that's the way to choke a gibing spirit, whose influence is begot of that loose grace which shallow laughing hearers give to fools. A just prosperity lies in the ear of him that hears it, never in the tongue of him that makes it. Then, if sickly ears, deft with the clamours of their own dear groans, will hear your idle scorns, continue then, and I will have you, and that fault withal. But if they will not, throw away that spirit, and I shall find you empty of that fault, right joyful of your reformation.
A 12-month. Well, befall what will befall. I'll jest a 12-month in an hospital.
Ay, sweet my lord, and so I take my leave.
No, madam, we will bring you on your way.
Our wooing doth not end like an old play. Jack hath not Jill. These ladies' courtesy might well have made our sport a comedy.
Come, sir. It wants a 12-month and a day, and then 'twill end.
That's too long for a play.
Sweet Majesty, vouchsafe me.
Was not that Hector?
The worthy knight of Troy.
I will kiss thy royal finger and take leave. I am a votary. I have vowed to Jacqueline to hold the plough for her sweet love 3 years. But most esteemed greatness, will you hear the dialogue that the two learned men have compiled in praise of the owl and the cuckoo? It should have followed the end of our show.
Call them forth quickly. We will do so.
Holla! Approach! This side is Heims, winter, and this is Ver, the spring. The one is maintained by the owl, the other by the cuckoo. There, begin.
When daisies pied and violets blue, and lady smocks all silver white, and cuckoo buds of yellow hue do paint the meadows with delight, the cuckoo then on every tree mocks married men, for thus sings he, cuckoo, 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 a word of fear, unpleasing to a married ear.
When shepherds pipe on oaten straws, and merry larks are ploughmen's clocks, when turtles tread and rooks and daws, and maidens bleach their summer smocks, the cuckoo then on every tree mocks married men, for thus sings he, cuckoo, 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 a word of fear, unpleasing to a married ear. Ooh, 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 ooh.
When icicles hang by the wall, and Dick the shepherd blows his nail, and Tom bears logs into the hall, and milk comes frozen home in pail. When blood is nipped and ways be foul, the nightly sings the staring owl, to wit, to woo a merry note, while greasy Joan doth keel the pot.
When all aloud the wind doth blow, when coughing drowns the porson saw, and birds sit brooding in the snow, and Marion's nose look red and raw, when roasted crabs hiss in the bowl, the nightly sings the staring owl, to wit, to who a merry note, while greasy Joan doth keel the pot.
The Lords of Mercury are harsh after the songs of Apollo. You that way? Be this way.